Hello and welcome to the Papyrus Global TV News Update. I am Christiana Babayo. Before we begin, here are the headlines. UK rejects Nigerian government request to transfer Ike Ekweremadu to Nigeria. Atiku Abubakar formally joins ADC ahead of 2027 elections. CDI leverages technology to tackle national security threats, says Defense Intelligence Chief. Senator Kalu accuses Nnamdi Kanu of agitation that caused over 30,000 deaths. Tinubu orders removal of police from VIP duties, redeploys to frontline security. PDP suffers another blow as ex-commissioner defects to APC in Ebonyi. DSS DG releases suspected IPOB member, pays 5 million naira compensation. Sunek set to review federal government's final terms in ongoing negotiations. And now the news in details. The United Kingdom has declined a formal request from the Nigerian government to transfer Ike Ekweremadu, former deputy president of the Nigerian Senate, to serve out his prison sentence in Nigeria, government sources report. Ekweremadu is currently incarcerated in the UK after being convicted in 2023 for his involvement in a highly publicized organ trafficking case. The court found that he, his wife Beatrice Ekweremadu, and a doctor, Dr. Obinna Obeta, had conspired to exploit a young man's kidney, intending the organ for their daughter. He was sentenced to 9 years and 8 months in prison. In early November 2025, President Bola Tinubu sent a high-level delegation to London to negotiate Ekweremadu's repatriation. The team included Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga and Attorney General and Justice Minister Lateef Fagbemi, who met with officials from the UK Ministry of Justice to explore a possible prisoner transfer arrangement. According to UK Justice Ministry sources, the demand was rejected on the grounds that Nigeria could not give sufficient guarantees that Ekweremadu could serve the rest of his sentence if returned. A statement linked to the rejection read that prisoner transfers are at the UK's discretion following a careful assessment of whether it would be in the interests of justice. Officials quoted by media also emphasized that the UK will not tolerate modern slavery, raising concerns about the nature of the organ trafficking conviction. With the refusal, Ekweremadu is set to remain in a British prison until he completes his term. His wife Beatrice, who was sentenced to 4 years and 6 months, was released earlier in 2025 and has since returned to Nigeria. The case, which involves complex legal, diplomatic and human rights dimensions, has drawn widespread attention and sparked debate about prisoner transfer agreements, Nigeria-UK relations and how justice is managed across international borders. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has officially joined the Africa Democratic Congress (ADC) in what many see as a major political realignment ahead of Nigeria's 2027 general elections. The announcement was made on 24 November 2025 when Atiku registered and collected his ADC membership card in his hometown in Adamawa State. Atiku's move comes on the heels of his resignation from the People's Democratic Party in July, when he cited irreconcilable differences over the party's direction. In a post on his verified X account, Atiku shared a photo of himself holding the membership card, captioning it, "It's official." At a registration ceremony in Adamawa, party leaders expressed optimism that Atiku's entry will strengthen the ADC's national profile. According to Sadiq Yaradua, National Secretary of the ADC Registration and Mobilization Committee, the former vice president's endorsement signals a new chapter of opposition unity. Atiku framed his move as more than a change of party. Now the real opposition has begun, he said, calling on his supporters and Nigerians to register with the ADC and build what he described as a new political front. Political analysts argue that Atiku's formal membership will significantly bolster the ADC's chances ahead of 2027. The party has already been adopted by a coalition of opposition leaders, including Peter Obi and David Mark, as its platform to challenge President Bola Tinubu. With Atiku now on board, the ADC is positioning itself as a major opposition force. The question now is whether the coalition can convert this momentum into broad-based support across Nigeria, particularly in swing states, and translate it into electoral success. The Chief of Defense Intelligence, Lieutenant General Emmanuel Udiandeye, has has affirmed that the Defense Intelligence Agency is deliberately integrating cut-edge technology with traditional intelligence methods to address Nigeria's evolving security challenges. Speaking at the 2025 CDI annual conference in Abuja, he said the agency is building a multi-source intelligence model to better anticipate and neutralize emerging threats. Udiandeye highlighted that Nigeria's security landscape has grown increasingly complex, with insurgency, terrorism, banditry, and organized crime now coexisting with cyber-based and information-driven threats. He urged intelligence officers to not rely solely on human sources, but also exploit signal, imagery, and open-source intelligence. As part of its modernization push, the DIA has begun digitizing its intelligence processes, strengthening both cyber and special intelligence capabilities. The agency has also set up specialized task forces to collaborate with other security and law enforcement bodies. A central feature of the reform is the Defense Intelligence Agency Technology Center, launched last year. The center will focus on 5 key domains: cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning, and data analytics. General Udiandeye noted that these technologies will help DIA generate actionable intelligence more quickly, turning raw data into strategic insights that can guide both operational and leadership-level decisions. In addition to technological investments, the CDI is placing a strong emphasis on human capacity training analysts and field operatives to interpret and act on intelligence ethically, swiftly, effectively. Senator Orji Uzor has publicly blamed Nnamdi Kanu, the detained IPOB leader, for causing the deaths of more than 30,000 people in the southeast due to his separatist agitations. Kalu made the claim in an interview on Channel Television's Sunday Politics program, where he described the socio-economic devastation allegedly triggered by Kanu's movement. According to Kalu, the turmoil linked to Kanu's activism did not just result in loss of lives, but also in widespread destruction of businesses. The former Abia State governor lamented that many traders, including people close to his family, saw their shops looted and destroyed amid the unrest. Kalu urged political actors, including IPOB supporters, to shift from noisemaking to a more constructive political resolution. He argued that the aftermath of violence cannot be ignored. For him, there is a need for sober reflection and a negotiated path forward. He stated that he is working with the federal government to explore a settlement that addresses Kanu's issue through political means. We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, the news will continue. Stay tuned.
The Papyrus Global, we don't just cover events, we create cinematic experiences. From red carpets to birthdays, gala dinners, and your fairy tale weddings, we bring your moments to life with high-tech precision. Our gadgets are smarter, our lenses sharper, and our team simply world-class. Trust the Papyrus Global to tell your story in the boldest, brightest way possible.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has instructed the immediate withdrawal of police officers providing security for very important persons, redirecting them to frontline policing duties across Nigeria. The move, announced following a high-level security meeting at the State House in Abuja, is part of a broader strategy aimed at increasing police presence in underserved communities. According to a statement from its Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the redeployment means that VIPs who require protection will no longer rely on the police, but will instead have to request armed personnel from the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC. Tinubu also approved the recruitment of 30,000 additional police officers to reinforce law enforcement across the country. He emphasized that bolstering police capacity is essential to better respond to Nigeria's escalating security threats, particularly in many rural and remote areas where police coverage is weak. While some have welcomed the policy as a bold step to restore policing to its public service role, critics remain skeptical. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, labeled the move as cosmetic, suggesting it does little to address deep-rooted challenges such as terrorism, banditry, and corruption. Ebonyi State's political landscape has been rattled by another high-profile defection from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress, this time involving former Commissioner Oke Ngbada and the Ebonyi State Secondary Education Board. Ngbada, who holds a reputation as a cybersecurity specialist and youth leader, officially left the PDP during a rally in Ezza North local government area, where he was received into the APC by the state's leadership. His defection was accompanied by hundreds of his supporters, signaling a potentially significant shift in political allegiance with Ebonyi State. In his remarks at the rally, Ngbada praised Governor Francis Nwifuru's administration, describing it as all-inclusive and focused on building infrastructure while empowering young people. He stated that his decision to join APC was driven by Nwifuru's proactive governance style and what he called a new Ebonyi project, one geared towards sustainable development and youth participation. The APC's Ebonyi State Chairman, Stanley Okoro Emiega, welcomed Ngbada and his associates into the party fold, highlighting that their entry would strengthen APC's grassroots and youth mobilization ahead of future elections. Political watchers interpret Ngbada's defection as part of a broader trend of PDP weakening in the region, particularly within its youth and professional ranks. This defection adds to another recent losses for the PDP in Ebonyi, including that of former high-ranking party officials and stakeholders, raising concerns within the party about its capacity to retain influence and remain competitive in the state. The Director General of the Department of State Services (DSS), Oluwatosin Adeola Ajayi, has ordered the release of Kenneth Okechukwu Nwafor, who was arrested in July 2022 over alleged involvement with proscribed indigenous peoples of Biafra (IPOB). The DSS also awarded him 5 million naira in compensation and granted him free medical care. According to security sources, the DSS conducted a detailed reinvestigation into Nwafor's case and concluded that he was wrongfully detained. His release follows Ajayi's directive to review all pending cases inherited by his leadership to ensure due process and justice. The move is part of a broader pattern by Ajayi to correct past mistakes, sources say. In recent months, the DSS has released other individuals, including 3 men from Abia State who were also associated with IPOB, and has paid compensations in several other high-profile wrongful detention cases. Officials close to the DSS say that Ajayi's actions reflect a renewed culture of accountability in the agency, aimed at restoring public trust and reinforcing the rule of law. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, is poised to revisit its negotiation with the federal government after its National Executive Council decided to review the government's final offer. The union's decision comes amid continuing dissatisfaction over long-standing demands related to its 2009 FGN and ASU agreement. ASU had earlier suspended a 2-week warning strike it declared in mid-October, granting the government a 1-month window to deliver on its promises. According to its leadership, the union has engaged in useful discussions with government negotiators, but many issues remain unresolved. During its next meeting early in November, ASU expressed concern about the pace of renegotiation and called on the government to take immediate concrete steps. The union warned that failure to reach a meaningful agreement could lead to renewed industrial action. And that's all we have on the Papyrus Global TV News Update. I am Christiana Babayo. Thanks for joining us.